Well, I'll come down to the Department of Infrastructure and talking with the Minister and also Jeff, of course, who's in charge of the department. It's about the rally, and it's been an on-off sort of situation now for some time. There's been warnings that it wasn't going to happen. Then there was lots of hopefulness, shall we say, because I had the rally people on to me about doing an interview, then they didn't do an interview, and as it stands, we haven't got them. But they went on the state broadcaster this morning about the whole thing, and I think that's probably what I want to talk to you guys about. Are you taking the rap? Is it your fault? And I don't know which one wants to pick up on this. I guess Jeff, as a working the thing, it's your fault. They're saying because there was insufficient time now to get the road closures sorted out. Over to you.
That's not the case. Right up until last night, we've been working with the rally organisers with the full intention of this event carrying on. In terms of the racing authorisation, which closes the road. Last year that was actually issued on the day of the rally, so that can continue to be issued right up until the last minute. Ideally, we don't want that to happen, and we've really been trying to work hard with them this year that doesn't happen. But certainly this decision last night came as a bit of a shock to us.
Okay, now that's changed my whole conversation here, because I assumed it was all something that was just going to be called off. Let's bring the Minister in here. Where do you come into this? Do you have something to do with this, or you sit back and watch him do his thing?
This ultimately is an operational issue, and fundamentally this is the rally have decided to call off for this year, which is obviously a massive disappointment. I know they've had lots of issues with numbers and things like that, but absolutely this is their call to make. They've decided to cancel the rally, and that's incredibly disappointing.
Well, they said initially that there was obviously problems in the department, and obviously there was a terrible amount going on Facebook. I don't want to go into personal things, but you must have been disappointed that it got down to that sort of thing. Are you in any shape, form or fashion to blame for this? Have you been intransigent?
Absolutely not. We've worked hard this year to try and bring the rally organisers along with them. I think it's in the public domain now, not by our doing, but in the public domain, that we've had concerns with their competence to organise this event for many years. We've been trying to push that forward. Last year, as I've said, we ended up issuing the racing authorisation on the day of the race, which is really not appropriate. Legally, we have an obligation to only issue a racing authorisation if we believe the organiser is competent. We've seen a series of safety concerns over the years, and driven in part by poor organisation on the lead up to the event. So we've been trying to help the organiser address that this year. We've set deadlines for information, they've been passed. We've set secondary deadlines, they've been passed without any information. Things came to a head in July when we said that we were going to withdraw support. We had a review meeting at that point with the rally organisers at their request. At that meeting they said they were changing their leadership team for this year's rally, and based on that and a couple of other assurances, we decided, okay, we'll continue to work with them.
So once you've withdrawn your support, though, I'm guessing a lot of people were worried about booking for this, and I think they're saying the numbers weren't there, but some people are coming from Japan or wherever. Do you think this could have been handled better then?
I really struggle to see how. None of this has been put into the public domain by the department, so far as I'm aware. If it has gone into the public domain, it's been by others. We've been trying to work with them behind the scenes. At the end of the day, this department supports road racing on the Isle of Man in such an enthusiastic way, and we want it to happen. But we need it to be safe, and our primary concern is public safety at every stage, which is why we can't give a racing authorisation to somebody that we don't think is competent.
I mean, that's you're making quite a thing there, incompetency. I mean, how can you pull back from this now? Because you're going to both be entrenched, aren't you? Both sides now won't be wanting to get on with this one.
No, we support rally, and we're supporting the rally that's in November. We support the rally that took place in May. Many organisations come with it, but at the end of the day, it is about safety. And if the safety documents aren't there, if the risk assessments aren't there, if it's incomplete, if the detail of working out how the rally is going to work isn't there, then we can't issue you're a racing organisation. But I need to re-emphasise the point. We'd gone, and I know the team here personally have gone above and beyond, extended deadlines, used weekends, used evenings to work with the rally. At the end of the day, it was their call to stop at this point. We're at no different stage. We didn't want to be at this stage, but we're at absolutely no different stage to last year.
You're saying you could go right to the day if the wire.
Well, we're saying that's because of the review, because people are going above and beyond. That is what happened. We certainly don't want to do that in future years. We can't, and this is for the very reason that somebody at the last minute, despite all of the effort that's been put in place, can pull out. And I know it's across department. The reasons given last week, I understand, were down to underwriting and financial. So I do really feel it's incumbent on the organisers to take actual responsibility for what they've done. At the end of the day, we don't have the issues with the other organisations and the other events. At the end of the day, it's down to the organisation to provide those documents. If they provide, and it isn't about documents, it's about having a safety plan.
Are you the fall guys then? Is that how you're seeing yourself? That they couldn't go ahead, whatever their reasons, maybe the numbers weren't there, but they're going to blame it on you?
Well, quite frankly, it's irrelevant. It's their event. They need to organise it. They need to have all the bits and all the documents and all the things that were signed off and so forth. They need to have those absolutely ready. It's their responsibility to do that. If they haven't done that, then they have failed to do that. Now, I know there were some conversations we had in the sense that they need to get all of their procedures, their organisation ready for the event. In this case, we were in the same position as we were last year. We could have, we were willing to continue to work right up to the wire. They have pulled back.
So it's a safety issue. You're saying that things change routes. Are you okay? You haven't got potholes on all the roads. It's nothing to do with you at all. You saying they hadn't done their paperwork. Really?
I think the Minister's quite clear, and he's right. This is their event. It's their responsibility to organise it and make it happen. We issue a racing authorisation. We can only do that if we've had due sight of their risk assessments, because that's part of our procedures for establishing, are these people competent to do what they're going to do.
So they haven't done the risk assessment?
Some of the risk assessments are lacking. And we're willing, up until last night, to continue working with them over the next week or so to get to a position where everybody was happy and confident.
Is it not mostly the same routes each year? Is it therefore the same risk assessment, or am I missing something?
The rally routes change from year to year.
Is there any way back now? Or would you want to talk to them if they would talk to you?
Of course you want to talk to them. At the end of the day, obviously time's ticking, and they've called off the event. Yeah. And obviously we would want, and all of government have worked incredibly hard to make this happen, and also for next year as well. But at the end of the day, they have to meet their end of the bargain, and this is absolutely fundamental. They have made commitments to us that they will deliver certain things on certain days at certain times. They have made the commitment.
Yeah.
That's the point.
But they haven't delivered, you say?
They haven't delivered. Now, if you say, well, we're not going to do that, or we don't think we need to do that, they have made commitments to us and they have not delivered them. So at the end of the day, the responsibility for running the rally is the rally.
Obviously people have the TT in their minds that you got to make that safe, and you can't make it safe. It's impossible. So you're asking, going above and beyond here, giving them bigger hurdles to jump through than what you do for other events.
No, it's not. What we don't try and interfere with is the racing event itself. We're not road racing experts. We're not rally experts. We're looking at public safety primarily, so where the public interface with that event, so road closure positions, how they divert around those routes, where fans are likely to sit, where it's safe for them to sit, where it isn't safe for them to sit. In this year, for example, in Castletown, there's a fan zone. What's the organisation around that? What are the numbers expected to be, so we can make sure that they can disperse safely?
All these question marks and questions you haven't had answered.
They're the examples of the type of questions that were asked. So we're not talking about racing. We're talking about how does the public interact with this event and making ourselves happy that that is safe.
It's quite clear. You called them incompetent. This is is that what you're saying? What exactly are you saying?
No, I said under the Road Racers Act, we can only issue a racing authorisation to an organisation we deem competent to undertake.
Therefore you say they're not competent, right?
We've had increasing concerns over the years because of the safety issues that we've had that have been documented in the press, with the timings of documentation that have increasingly brought concern into our minds. So we tried to bring that back on track this year.
They're competent, they're not incompetent.
No. What as with last year, the racing authorisation came in very, very late, and we were being prepared to go above and beyond to get to that finishing line. If we had got to that finishing line, which we believe would have been possible, and still would have been possible, there wouldn't even be an issue here. And
in your case, you're saying if all been well, eventually you would have got that signed off, and the rally could have gone ahead.
Absolutely.
We fully expected the rally to go ahead.
How can you pull this back? I mean, you cannot expect these people when they watch this interview to expect to be happy about it. I mean, you've got to sit around the table at some point, but you see a new organisation, new people running it who are more competent. Let's try that.
I think it's really careful. It's about talking about the race itself. So the race itself has to have that competency. Yeah. So it has to have the risk assessments, the safety zones, the fan zones.
And you're saying it hasn't had it.
It hasn't had it at this point. But of course it can be achieved. And if the work is started on now and delivered upon, then absolutely we support motor racing on the island, and we want to encourage and help people as much as possible. But at the end of the day, it does fall onto the organisation.
So finally, you think there could be a rally next year? Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.